Hey everybody, welcome finally to my part 2 of the most unknown Nintendo DS JRPGs. About 2 months ago I made the first part where I mentioned that the Nintendo DS has quite a lot of JRPGs, a lot, tons of them. So guess what? This is part 2 and there will be most likely a part 3. That's awesome, right? Well, let's begin. Number 10, Fossil Fighters. This is one of those thousands of games that are often compared to Pokemon. Why is every single game that involves training creatures and making them fight is compared to Pokemon? Could it be that Pokemon was the first game of its kind? It's the most famous of its kind, that's for sure, so maybe that's why. In any case, Fossil Fighters is no exception. You find fossils, recreate them into dinosaurs, train them and make them fight. However, there's just way too much than that. I think Fossil Fighters is a more complex game than any Pokemon and offers so much variety. The only downfall is that the battle system can be quite boring. But if you get used to it, you start liking it. So this is a good game that's unknown because, well, doesn't the name say it all? Next, we've got Fossil Fighters Champions. So as I was saying, the name. What kind of game is Fossil Fighters anyway? You think you'll be an archaeologist fighting other archaeologists for fossils? Or maybe it's a fighting game with characters made of just fossils, like with no skin and... yeah, I'll explain the game. Well, there's not much to say other than it's a sequel to the previous title and that it was one of the last JRPGs to be released for the Nintendo DS. If you ask me which one is better, I'll say this one, but I suggest you start with the first game, obviously, and if you like it, then you'll love this one. Good games, both of them. Unknown maybe because of the bad names and probably due to the frequent comparison to the Pokemon franchise. Number 8, Black Sigil Blade of the Exiled. This is one of the most disappointing RPGs of all time. It was so goddamn promising, with an incredibly good soundtrack and a great story with very interesting characters, decent graphics, and a battle system that was technically a Chrono Trigger doppelganger, in a good sense of course. All this ruined by two major flaws. Extremely frequent random encounters and difficulty spikes during the whole damned game. Well, I guess if you're looking for a solid challenge and a repetitive, tedious game, this might be a good idea for you. As to why it is unknown, it's because it was destroyed by the critics mainly for the reasons I already explained. Very, very disappointing. It was such a great idea for a JRPG. But hey, if you're looking for a good story, don't miss this one out. Nights in the Nightmare. Another game that was so disappointing. This one at least for me. I know that some of the very few people who have played this game really enjoyed it and consider it a hidden gem, but I'm sorry to say that I hated it for one single reason. It's got a great story, very dark, which means I would have probably loved it. Graphics are okay, music is excellent. So what is the reason that, in my opinion, killed the game? Well, take a good look at this gameplay video. Can you even begin to understand what the hell is going on? Yeah, it's one of those games that involves the damn stylus. I don't mind when it's games like Plants vs Zombies, but this is some shit I don't want to see or use in a strategy RPG. There's another version, one for the PSP, but I haven't played it, so I really hope it doesn't involve the stylus. Lunar Nights. A Konami game, and do you know who made this? You're not going to believe this. Kojima Productions. Yeah, Hideo Kojima was the producer of this roguelike RPG. And guess what? It's awesome! The battle system leaves a lot to be desired, yes, but that doesn't change the fact that the story, graphics, character design and everything else is quite good. Of course, I don't truly believe this is actually Kojima's playground. but it was a good attempt to something different than Metal Gear or Son of the Enders. I recommend this game because even though it looks so simple, it's quite the opposite. It even includes these kinds of on-rail shooting missions, and no, it has nothing to do with the Lunar series. Its real name is Bokura no Taiyo, often abbreviated as Boktai, and it's the fourth title in a series. I think it was a dumb idea to change the name to Lunar, considering the obvious, because I can think of no other reason than that for this game to be really unknown. It's a pretty decent game, so give it a chance if you can. It's Hideo Kojima, what can go wrong? Nothing, right? Right? Nah, it's a great game. Next is Izuna, Legend of the Unemployed Ninja. Yeah, what the heck, right? So we have yet another game that's really unknown because of its peculiar name. By that, we can already imagine it's some sort of anime comedy. And yeah, it is. There's actually nothing notorious about this action RPG, other than the fact that the main character reminds me of Sakura from Naruto, who knows why. But the thing is, this game is, well, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's bad, not at all, but good? I want you to play this. So when you do, or if you've already played it, don't forget to share your opinion in the comment section. It's a nice game, but I believe it's so open to discussion because somehow I wouldn't consider this to be a hidden gem, even though a lot of people do, which is why I put it on the unknown top instead of a hidden gems video. And well, it's a decent game, but I await your comments in the comment section below. And guess what? It's got a sequel. Yeah, Izuna 2 The Unemployed Ninja returns. More sexualized, of course. Looks exactly like the first game, right? Yeah, it does. So let me explain the game mechanics of these so-called hidden gems. They're basically dungeon crawlers in an overview with randomly generated dungeons. The battle system is a mixture between turn-based and action. So Izuna 2 is no different than the first, except it's a little more fun because this time you can play as other characters. It also includes some new features here and there, but nothing that really stands out. Both games have been criticized very controversially. I say this word because some critics say it's very difficult, and some others say quite the opposite, that it lacks challenge. I say it has difficulty spikes, annoying ones as a matter of fact, but the challenge is still there. However, there is something we can all agree with, and that is the fact that the story is very, very quirky. Like, come on, this game is a comedy. In conclusion, both games are nice, but nothing close to extraordinary. Number 3 goes to the Dark Spire. Want to talk about extraordinary? We've got the Dark Spire, man. It's a first-person dungeon crawler. Yeah, I hate those games, but this one's actually really good. The only problem, a big one in my opinion, that can kill the gaming experience is that there's a lot of random encounters. But with a music like this... yeah! I don't really mind. It's a classic game with cool graphics and an awesome art style, as you can see right now, and it's got an option to set the game in a mode which renders graphics, sound and music with the style of an 8-bit game. Something I found really awesome. Now, this game is unknown for 2 reasons. One, the cover. It looks nothing like an RPG, and that turned JRP gamers away from it. Second, it's a game made by Success, a company known for creating, well, very unknown games. They're the ones who actually made both Izuna games, as well as many other hidden gems. Anyways, it's a great game, totally recommend it, and the music's fucking awesome. Number 2, Dungeon Explorer Warriors of the Ancient Art. I already covered this game on my top 10 most unknown PSP JRPGs, but at the same time, I haven't. Wanna know why? Because even though the games are officially the same, at least in the title, both are extremely different in terms of graphics, music and gameplay. The battle system is technically the same, an action RPG, but really they're almost like an entirely different game. And I'm sorry to say this, but the DS version sucks ass. If you're gonna play this game, do it on the PSP. But might as well give this one a chance if you're curious enough to see the differences. So why is this Unknown? Well, generic name, generic gameplay, generic story, generic everything. Yeah, it's bad. Number 1, yes, you didn't click on a different video. You're seeing this with your own 2 eyes. It's a Japanese role-playing game based on The Wizard of Oz. Oh yeah. A turn-based RPG in which you control all the famous characters from the book. It was brought to us by Exit Games, a really cool company that has brought us all their great JRPGs. But this unbelievable game, is it any great? Well, no, it isn't, but it's good nonetheless. You might still not believe it, but it's actually decent enough, and you will probably enjoy it whether you're interested in The Wizard of Oz or not. As to why it is Unknown, well, who the fuck makes a JRPG based on that book? Aha, Mediavision. Yeah, the same guys who made the Wild Arms series, Valkyria Chronicles 3, and some shining titles. Okay, so do I recommend this? You laugh, but yeah, I do. It's not a great game, but it's pretty good, so yes, it's recommended. And it's real. Okay guys, that's it. Thank you for joining me once again on these Unknown videos. And see you next time. It's gonna be in a month or 2, I guess, the 3rd part, but there will be, that's a fact. So stay put, keep watching, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and share this video with your friends. See you next time.